You guys remember that Tascam 133, that 3-channel cassette deck that would have been used in a radio station or some automation system that has a queuing channel? The one that the motor was shot. Well, a motor has been sourced, so we're going to put a new motor in this time and see if it fixes it. So let's get started. First things first, let's strip the chassis down. You got to remove the actual transport in order to get to the motor to change it. This requires removing 4 screws so the chassis can be lifted out. Of course, we also have to undo a bunch of plugs to unplug the mechanism from the rest of the unit. But it's fairly straightforward to get into one of these units. Probably one of the easier machines to strip down to get the motor out and change it, or do any work on the transport for that matter. Okay, we're going to swap the wires over from the old motor to the new one, because I'm going to leave the original board in place. And they're marked, right? Yellow violet, and white is marked on here. So I can just remove the 3 wires. And from the new motor. So here's the new motor, yellow, violet, and white, and then the 2 power motors, or the 2 power wires for the motor, which are the yellow and the red stripe, yellow being the ground and the red stripe being the positive. So we'll just disconnect those 2 from the old motor. And the same on the replacement. Hopefully this used motor is good. We waited a while to get it. The owner of the unit was able to find one. Put the new motor in place. I got to get the pulley on there, of course, first, because otherwise I'll never get the pulley on. Just kind of fish the belt up here while I'm at it. Do that, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. This is the fun one to get in. There it is, it's in. That's a little better. Seems to be riding pretty much in the center if we look at the belt. Yeah, looks okay. Alright, make sure everything's tight, and then we can start to reassemble everything. So going to make sure that this lock screw is tight here. There we go, that's not going nowhere. And it spins this way. Yeah, it's looking good. Alright, time to put it back together. It was a 1.5 millimeter Allen key, right? Hex key or Allen key, or whatever you want to call it. 1.5 millimeters is what takes that one off. Pretty tight fit to get this thing back in. But it will slide in there eventually. Gotta make sure all the cables and stuff that are caught up are out of the way. It may look like it's in now, but it's actually still not all the way in at the bottom. Just like that. I can tighten the top ones down. and start reconnecting the plugs to the various connectors. Now, when I took them off the first time, I numbered them all, so it's easy to figure out which one goes where. Like, for example, this one's got a 1 on it, plugs over to number 1. This one has a 2 on it, so it's going to go to 2, and the third one's going to go to wherever 3 was. This is 2 over here, I believe. And the other one's on the top. That one there, a T for top, T and T2, right? I label that T for top, T2 for top, 1 and 2, and then these other 2 ribbon cables are also, I've also labeled them 1 and 2 appropriately. Tie these wires down in place. One and connector 2. Yeah. That's that. This unit should be ready for testing. Let's see if it works. Let's put the front cover on. How it goes on like that. Okay. Power on. It's gonna work? I guess we'll find out pretty quick. Hopefully this motor's good.
It's slow.
If we look on the Q channel, you can see the Q channel bouncing because if I plug something into that, we'll hear the music playing backwards going the other way.
It's a little bit slow. We'll have to do something about that.
Oh, don't plug the wrong one in. Let's plug the output in. That was the input. See, it can be used as a third channel, right? But it's also the Q channel. So if I play this, still having up, son. It plays backwards. That's how you can really mess with someone. Hook up the Q channel. It's obviously the opposite side of the tape. Let's check the speedo. See how close this thing is without having to adjust it. I got a 3 kilohertz and a 440. I could do either because I could put my counter on my scope, but we'll just use the guitar tuner on 440 with a musical note A. People ask why I use this as opposed to using my scope. Well, not everybody has a frequency counter, not everybody has a scope with frequency measurement capabilities, but anybody can obtain one of these things dirt cheap. They're $20 gets you a guitar tuner with a microphone. You don't even have to plug in, you can use a microphone, and that'll give you the exact pitch, which we are low, which I knew because I could tell from when the music was playing. So let's find the trimmer. It's one of these two and tweak it up a bit. One of them will be for the high speed as well, which we'll have to adjust that. And we can do the same because it's still A. Okay. Neat, huh? Maybe my own siren. Now, how accurate is it? It is accurate. I can plug the output from the Q channel into my scope there, and we should see 3 kilohertz because it'll be playing the 3 kilohertz tone off the other track. But this is accurate, and it's as accurate as anything. I know some are going to say, oh, use a 3 kilohertz, it's more accurate. Actually, it's not, because if you're using one of these tuners, they are quartz lock and they're exceptionally accurate. After all, you can't have your guitarist playing out of tune, can you? Or can you? I mean, there's an old saying about guitarists, right? You're usually out of tune. Especially if you're Mike Stern. Not any offense to Mike Stern, because I love his music, but he's always flat. That's the way he plays. Here we go. That's pretty damn close. Let's look at the 3 kilohertz on the other side of the tape here. Any questions on how accurate a guitar tuner is? By the way, that one was a direct shot over the bow to you guys, and you know who you are, who've gone on the channel and said that this is not an accurate way and that you have to use a 3 kilohertz tone. And you guys know who you are. I won't name any names, but there's a few people that every time I did a calibration of a cassette deck using a guitar tuner, they told me I was wrong and I was showing people the wrong way, and that's not the right way and it's not accurate. And I think it is accurate. It is every bit as accurate as using a counter or a scope. Not everybody can afford to spend $400 or $500 on a digital scope, or even $100 on a digital scope, but everybody can afford to buy one of these, and everybody can afford to get a calibration tape. And I sell these calibration tapes, incidentally. I make them, I sell them, I record them on my calibrated deck. I have a quartz lock deck. It has been certified. I can validate it because I have the certified tapes. So my quartz lock deck, I have 2 of them. It's a direct drive capstan motor, certified, dead on balls accurate. Quoting that one from my cousin Vinny. And this is every bit as accurate as anything else that you're going to find. We're going to do a record test on this deck and see how it sounds. For you guys wondering, did I clean the capstan and the pinch roller? Of course I cleaned it before when I had it apart. So it was clean. Nothing to worry about. going to make this recording in the high speed 3 3/4 IPS speed. So I forgot how it is. I got it armed and record. I've got both my input functions are armed. I got my level set. I think I just do that, and then I start the music. Recording one song took up about 1/4 of the tape. Man, that's fast at 3 3/4 IPS. This is going to sound as good as any recording you've ever heard off of any cassette. It should exceed, well, it will exceed what a cassette deck is capable of, for sure. This is just a standard run-of-the-mill oxide tape. I'm going to plug the tape deck directly into the camera so we can hear what comes off the tape. Although this tape is pretty old, so I don't imagine that what comes off this tape is going to be all that good. If we look at all the wear on this tape, wow. Even at 3 3/4 IPS, it's likely to be unimpressive. But that's what I've got for a tape to record on, so let's check it out. Alright, so this one's done. Throw this one together and get it boxed up and heading to the other side of the country because this one came in from Ontario. So it's got a little ride home. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.